Hey, everybody. Good evening. It's Ellen Lewis from Crazy for You. And tonight we are going to talk about Rowan's latest magazine, issue 71. I am so excited to share this with you. It's just a really, really beautiful magazine. Um, I was at the shop last night and I had everything pulled together for today. And I thought I had the magazine in my bag. So I get here and I'm looking for the magazine and I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. And I'm telling my husband, I thought I had this magazine. I need this for tonight. And he was so cute. He said, don't you have all the patterns and stuff on that website, Raveled or something? And I was like, yes, I do have the patterns that I can show on Ravelry, but it's not the same. It's really, really not the same. And I guess that's one of the things I wanted to share with you about this magazine and about all the Rowan magazines. Having the magazine is not the same as just having the patterns or just seeing the patterns. It's completely different. So tonight, what I thought I'd do is to share with you, and if I can get both of these cameras working and my screen share working, I'll share with you exactly what I mean about that. Hi, Jacqueline. Oh my goodness, from Melbourne, Australia. How very nice to have you with us. It's 11 a.m. here, perfect time to sit down with a cuppa. Yes, absolutely. Jacqueline, do you get our newsletter? I don't know if you get the Crazy for You newsletter. If you do, then we just had, for our Rowan launch, we just had a little Rowan tea party because, as I said, there's nothing more Rowan, that more British than Rowan, and nothing more British than a cup of tea. So I know that it's not the same as Australian, but absolutely tea. It's perfect time for a cuppa. What are you having? Are you having Earl Grey? Are you having Darjeeling? What do you like best? Hey, Sandy, nice to see you. Hi, Gail. I'm glad you could be here. Hey, Amelia. Hi, Terry. So, yeah. So the whole concept of the Rowan magazine, it's just beautiful. It's not like picking up the old school pattern collections that were maybe a little bit, I don't want to say cheap. They weren't cheap, but they weren't like this. I mean, when you pick this up, you know that you have something substantial in your hands. I mean, you have a really quality publication. The cardstock is heavy. I don't know if you can see it, but the font on the front it's a little bit glossy, and the whole magazine just feels solid. And like I said, you pick it up, it feels a lot more like one of those Italian Vogues or French Vogue. It feels good in your hands, and you start flipping through it. The photography is gorgeous. Let me see if I can get this on this other one. The photography is gorgeous, and it just looks really, really quality. So, I mean, even before you open it, you know that this is a beautiful magazine. So let me put this in here. Okay, so here is the magazine. And like I said, I think it's just gorgeous. I have my places marked here. But the theme for the magazine this year is joy. And I love that. I just love it. And you open the magazine and you see that they start with this whole sort of perspective on what their inspiration was, why they did it this way. Let me just share with you some of the words that they have in here, which I think are just lovely. Joy is a life force. Joy is something that binds us together. Joy is deeply personal. Joy is an antidote to fear. What does joy mean to you? So, isn't that beautiful? I just love that. And what they did with this magazine was they asked all of their designers to come to the table inspired by their personal sense of joy. And so when you look at the magazine, it begins in this way with an introduction of each of the designers that's featured in there, from, Kaffe Fassett and Lisa Richardson, who Lisa comes to knitwear design as a tailor, so everything's very structured. Kaffe, of course, comes to knitwear with an artist's sense. And they just go through the line, the designers that you're accustomed to seeing in Rowan magazines, as well as some newer ones like Quail Studio. You have Georgiana Brandt, and a variety of others. So I'll kind of go through and show you those. But I love how they gave the designers kind of their marching orders. In fact, let me show you the piece of it. Okay, so I'll give this whole thing here. So here is kind of their statement and their whole welcome, and I think it's really beautiful. And they go through each of the designers. Each of the designers has a little cameo. Like I said, Kaffe Fassett, Lisa Richardson, Martin Storey, Brandon Mably, of course, who was so wonderful at our retreat last weekend, Arne Carlos, Georgia Farrell, Erika Knight, Quail Studio, Viva Ulrich, Chloe Thurlow, Annika Andrea Wolke, Emma Wright, and Anna Hull. And some of these others over here are, newer designers, but I think they really bring something special to it. So they kind of introduce this whole concept in the magazine about how they went through it. And I think it was Georgia Farrell that sort of saw the theme emerging, this theme of radical optimism, this theme of hope, and this theme of emerging from the challenges that they'd been through kind of stronger and more connected and closer than they would have imagined. And that what they're looking forward to in this magazine is this sort of rebirth, this springtime, and this whole, being outdoors, and how that all flows through the magazine is just really interesting. So I'll just start talking and sharing with you some of the designs that I think are really cool from some of the designers that are, of course, our favorites. And I would be interested if you put in the comments, what is your joy? If you were a designer and somebody said, what inspires you to radical joy? Go ahead and tell me in the comments what that is. Take a minute to think about it. I know it takes time, but I would be interested. I mean, obviously I'm not going to ask you to design anything, but what would be your inspiration? What would be your source of joy? Share that with me. So let me get my my screen up here. All righty, so you can see that the very first design, and I will share it with you kind of here too, is Kaffe Fassett. Now look at how beautiful this is. So here's the first piece of it, and it's got Kaffe's, his mood board. Do you see what I mean by a mood board? This is when the designers do little swatches, and they have sketches, and they have little bits of yarn in there. And his statement, what gives me the greatest joy is finding the right pattern to show off a palette of colors to reveal its best potential. So that's really pretty. And then if you want to look at the pattern, this is actually the one that has the most likes on Ravelry, is Caterpillar Patches. I think this is super cute. It's a little wrap that has about, I don't know, 15 or 20 colors of cotton glacé. And it's just absolutely so happy. So I think that's really, really a cute one by Kaffe Fassett. And do you like this one? Look how cute. All right, let's see, Jacqueline. Blissful solitude is my source of joy. Time to drink coffee, knit, and just be. So I'd make something fluffy, textured, and cozy. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jacqueline. Amelia, lace and cables. Well, you are in for luck. Time to listen to audiobooks. Yes, indeed. Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful wrap, isn't it, Jacqueline? Yes, it's lovely. So, Amelia, I want to share with you Martin's story. So he's next here, and let's see. No, he's not next. Let's see. Lisa Richardson is next, but I did want to bring this one up. So let's do that. Martin's story. Look at this. Martin's story's joy is cables, and here you go. Cables and lace for summer. Isn't that beautiful? Right up your alley, right, Amelia? This one is called Twist, and it is worked in, ooh, I have the notes here. Let's see. Twist is in creative linen, which I think is just a beautiful garment for spring and summer. Very pretty. And then the other one that I really like from Martin is called Fold, which is worked in cotton glace. I think this is beautiful. Sort of hard to see because it's in this ecru color. Let's see if we can get another image of it. Nope, that's the only one they've got. Let's look in the magazine here. So you can see here, he says his joy is cables, and he has this very heavily cabled cardigan for the summer. But the two, like I said, that I liked, here's a close-up. Can you see this? This is Fold. Look at how beautifully those cables make that fabric, and then with the lace being a little bit open, I think that's just beautiful. All right, let's see. Hi, Morgan. Joy as it relates to design makes me think of either a gray winter day covered in snow with a glowing fire and a glass of red wine. Ooh, what a pretty picture you paint. The other is sitting on a porch with germs and lilac sun on my face. Okay, beautiful. Nice. Sun on my face, front porch. Yeah, maybe you'll have to put together a mood board. Wouldn't that be a fun thing to do, to put together, all of us put together a mood board inspired by a theme? Maybe that'll be an exercise. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so let's see. What is next that I wanted to share with you? Okay, Brandon Mably, of course, who was, like I said, so fabulous at the retreat. Let me share this with you. So here's Brandon's whole mood board, and you can see this really beautiful sunrise picture. His joy is a new day. I always find joy in the morning sunrise. The crisp, fresh light of a new day dawning inspired me to create the atmosphere in this easy to knit and wear garment. Okay, so I think that's great. And I just want you to remember the pictures that are here on his mood board. And then when you see his designs, you can see the colors appearing there. And then this one, which is called Dawn, isn't that just so evocative, the colors that we see in the morning? Let's look at that on Ravelry. I think this is beautiful. This has got that kind of teal, and then at the cuff, you can almost picture the sun coming up, and you know how it's all kind of purple there in the morning. I think that's pretty beautiful. So we have a question. In the upper left, is that a cardigan? Yes, that is absolutely a cardigan. That is called Jolly. Very pretty, like a window pane. And I'm pretty sure he's done that in Tarja method. So, yeah. I love that Brandon's just so exuberant and graphic in his colors. You know, it's not a literal sunrise or dawn in the way that that this one is, but you can definitely see the colors, and you know, the translation of inspiration, I think, is pretty cool. So I like that. All right, let's see what is next. Okay, Arne and Carlos, their joy is pattern. No surprise there. They actually have the cover design. They have this one, which is called Collage, is their cover design. And then I really like this one, which is called Scrapbook, which is just a beautiful cardigan with these lovely kind of, what do you call that? Impressionist rose motif. Very, very pretty, I think. Let's look at that on Ravelry. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, Jolly does look fun to make, doesn't it? How many of you have made one of these intarsia or stranded designs that isn't symmetrical? I think these tend to be some of the most challenging things to knit because you can't always get a rhythm. You can't see where the pattern is going necessarily. You really do have to follow the chart. But I think that would be beautiful to wear. Who would knit that? I like that. So let me say hi to some of our other folks that have joined us. I mentioned Morgan. Hi, Anvita. Nice to have you. Sandy. Good, good. All right. And I knew what you meant about the ferns, I think, Morgan. So yeah, absolutely. That would be beautiful. That would be a fun, inspirational kind of activity to see, like put together a mood board, huh? All right, let's see what else I have to share with you. Okay, so I thought that Georgia Farrell was especially lovely. I found this incredibly poignant. Her and Georgia Farrell is a younger designer. Let me read what she said. My joy is love. This mood board is filled with images of some of my wonderful Nan Louise's belongings. Objects that both she and I love and cherish. She brings me so much joy, and the smile on her face each time I walk through the door is just the purest expression of joy that I can think of. Isn't that beautiful? So I don't know where her Nan Louisa lives, but it's clear that she's a grandmother or, you know, maybe an elderly aunt. And just these beautiful images that she has put together. Look at that mood board. It's so soft and sweet, I think. A little old-fashioned maybe, but just beautiful. She's got these quick knit bedtime slippers and just some really soft things. I think that's lovely. And she talks about how the designs were inspired by Nan and her needs. So little touches like this split hem on this cardigan and the big pockets. Can't you just see someone tucking, you know, a tissue or two, or maybe a candy drop in her pocket there, and then this pretty little shawl that just sits over the shoulders, and then a really soft and beautiful kind of a lap blanket. I think it's just lovely. You can show this on Ravelry. Beautiful. Such a timeless piece. I mean, I think she designed this particular garment for her grandmother, but it still manages to look really fresh and youthful. I would totally wear that. And I bet you know, Christy's on here, right? Christy, are you on here? Yeah, Christy's one of our younger knitters. Christy, you would make that, wouldn't you? I think you would wear that. It would look great on you. But the color palette is just so sweet and pretty, don't you think? That one's lovely. And then that little shawl that's made just with these sweet little architectural details just to kind of fit and stay right over the shoulder. I think that's beautiful. Yes, Morgan is also one of our younger knitters. She would definitely make it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's great. So let's see. Hey, Mia, nice to see you. Hi, Anna, nice to see you. My first color work was an asymmetrical intarsia. Wow, Layla, you're the bomb. you win the prize for the most adventurous first color work thing. Tell me what it was. I would be interested. I did a color work thing. I haven't finished it. In a Kaffe Fassett was what a Persian poppies thing, not symmetrical. So that's how I know how tough it is. All right. So what else do we have here? Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go through the book with you. So this is Erika Knight, and if you know Erika Knight, she's all about beautiful texture. She's the one who does a lot of the homewares, and she's done some beautiful baby things. Her joy is in the making. Simple, unpretentious, familiar, comforting, empowering. Taking time to slow down and absorb yourself in the process. In, over, under, off. That's like the rhythm of knitting. I think that's just lovely. And you can see that she has this beautiful palette of soft neutrals and just really comfortable, easy to wear kinds of things in creative linen, which is one of her favorite yarns. Look at her mood board here. I think that's so pretty. And this one, Slow, this is just a gorgeous, easy fitting something that you would throw on. If I put that on, I would never want to take it off. And I love boring knits. I don't think of them as boring, but I think of them as mindful and wonderful. Yeah, I think it's lovely. Just lovely. Okay, who else? So this is Georgiana Brandt, and she's one of the principals at Quail Studio. And I always like to remind you that Quail Studio is behind a lot of the Mode line. They are very, very fresh, fashion reflective, very modern kind of styling, but classic, modern classics. So I think their stuff is also pretty. And her joy is seaside. And she's done these little striped polo neck sweater, which I think is really, really cute. Has a zipper in it. Don't you love that? It's kind of an updated Breton sweater. So she says, one of the things that brings me the most joy is being by the sea, especially in Suffolk. Yes, indeed. I think the ocean is a lot of people's happy place. I think it's just beautiful. And you can see her mood board is let's see if I can get that up to show you. Not as good. Here we go. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's really cute too. We can look at that on Ravelry. Maybe not on Ravelry this time. But anyway, that's really cute. And then this is Viva Ulrich. Her joy is freedom. And you can tell from her writing that she is just all done with COVID. She says, what I long for and gives me a feeling of joy is to have the freedom to go for a walk when I want, to go for groceries when I want, to be met with a real smile and not a face mask, to gather with friends and family, to walk by a house and hear laughter from people through the open window. I think she sort of sums up what a lot of us have been feeling over the past couple years, and that this freedom and I think we all share some of that. And her designs are really, really very pretty. She's named them Free and Gather. I think this is a particularly lovely one with that drape front, that cardigan. Yeah. Lots of us love the seaside. Yep. Beautiful. And I think this might be the last one. Is Chloe Thurlow. And look at this. I think this is so pretty and graphic. It's super different. And she says her joy is cinema. And in particular, she likes Wes Anderson. And if any of you know Wes Anderson, he's famous for his use of strong and clear, consistent color palettes in cinema, and also a lot of symmetry. So I think that this whole very well-defined palette is huge and really a nice reflection. Let's look at her design for this blanket, which I think is great. A clearly defined color palette and a lot of symmetry in that. I think that's really pretty, and that's just super cozy. And I would love to make that. Looks like it would be not just boring enough to suit me. All right, so we got some comments here. Let's see, where's my mouse going on? Okay, Amelia. Both the cardigans in the freeze section. Yeah, let's have a look at that again. Yeah, those are beautiful. Let me see if I can bring those up. Oh yeah, here it is. All right. Okay, here is that first one. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, this definitely falls in the category of fun to knit and gorgeous to wear. Very pretty. Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to sort of point out is that if you look at on Ravelry, if you look at the designs, you can sort them by name, of course. You can sort them by most favorites or whatever, but you don't really get this sense, I think, that the designers and the Rowan team is trying to present in the magazine. They're just pictures of the garments, and you don't, without the magazine, you don't get that cohesive sense of this being the well thought out and carefully constructed and thoroughly inspired publication that it actually is. So that's another reason that I really like having the magazine in my hand. I think it's just a completely different experience seeing the designs unfold the way they do by designer in, with the discussion of their inspiration and seeing the mood board. I think you get a much, much better sense of what's going on in the designs, and it's just a lot more meaningful. It is to me anyway. Tell me what you think. Do you think in the comments if you think it's a better presentation than just kind of looking at them on Ravelry? All right, let's see. Does the magazine have the patterns in it as well? Oh my goodness, yes. The magazine has the patterns. So let me just sort of walk you through. So here's this first section, and that's really just kind of the first half of the magazine. That that whole organized by designer. This is one that's very nice too. Annika Wolka. She's big into yoga, and she has some beautiful designs that kind of you would pull on after yoga. But it's kind of her joy is, what did she say? Movement. Knitting and yoga are very similar to me. Both are ways to calm the mind and do something for my well-being. Knitting and yoga bring me to the same place of relaxation whilst moving my hands or my whole body. The repetitive movements of knitting or going through a sequence of well-known asana poses is my place of joy, combining movement and stillness of the mind. I think that's beautiful, just beautiful. So she has some lovely designs in there as well. And, it's almost like a theater, you have this section 1, with all of that sort of inspired designs. And then you have this, this intermission where there's this beautiful article written by Leslie Petrovsky. It's a lovely article. It's really well written. And it talks all about, the healing nature of knitting. And listen to this. Could knitting needles be the magic wands people needed to find joy, meaning, and even healing through healing chronic pain, depression, or illness, and now long COVID, right? So yeah, so therapeutic knitting. So this is a beautiful article that's in the magazine that I really like. Ida, yeah, they really are collectible items, Ida. They're just beautiful. Norma, you like, yeah, these do look very like you, Norma, those patterns, because you're kind of a yoga girl, aren't you? So I've gone a little bit over, but I just wanted real quickly to show you the second half of the magazine, and that is Rowan's overall kind of theme, the joy of fresh air. And this is very different because this is more like a more traditional pattern collection where you have a thematic approach, and this is all about being outside and letting your senses burst with joy. And who doesn't find joy in nature and being outside? So there are a number of wraps, and in this section there are also a number of beautiful crochet items. I want to draw your attention to this one in particular, which is, I think, lovely in this palette of cotton cashmere. Oh, I think that's just beautiful. It's kind of a riff on a granny square. It's not a granny square, but it is worked in squares, and I think it's just beautiful. I think the difference in a lot of stuff that we knit or crochet is, the palette. Having an elegant palette makes a huge difference. I won't labor through all of them, but beautiful sweaters. Here's another crochet item. This is called Shade. I think that's really cute. See how sort of aspirational and lifestyle it is? She's going to have a picnic outside. I love that. And then, of course, this is my favorite, this Breton, take on the Breton. This is by Quail Studio, which I think is lovely. We've talked a lot about the Breton sweaters, haven't we? Very pretty. And then this last one that I wanted to showcase for you. This is also really simple and easy. It's called Dune. Very pretty. And you can see that on Ravelry. But it's just a simple little popover in garter stitch. And then this one, just this beautiful, easy fitting Ruana kind of piece that in all these colors of, the seashore and water. It's just so beautiful and inspirational. And let me show you also real quick that, yes, the patterns are all in the back. So the back of the magazine is just full of patterns and charts and all of the information that you need to knit whichever one of these you want. Hi, Valerie. Nice to have you. Yeah. So that is Rowan Magazine 71, and I think it's probably one of their best. I love the way that they've, I don't know, maybe intimate is the right word. They've been so intimate with the designers. I kind of feel like I know them, when they have their statement like that, and you get to see all of the things that that inspire them generally and how they go about the process of going from inspiration to design. So anyway, I thought it was a really, really lovely publication, and we have a bunch of them, and you can order them from Crazy for You, and we will ship them right out. They're in stock and ready to go. And I do think that that this in particular is really one worth having. So yeah, so you can go to crazyforyou.com and order the magazine. And real quick, I have a giveaway for you. I have 2 skeins of beautiful Summerlite 4-ply. Beautiful yarn. This is a lovely fingering weight yarn that I want to give away. So let me bring that up for you. Okay, I should have had this together. So let me. Okay. Okie dokie. Okay, so If you would like to win the 2 skeins of Rowan 4-ply, go ahead and put in the comment joy. Put joy in there. Hi, Colleen. Nice to see you. Enter joy in the comments, and you will be entered to win. All right. I know that there's a little bit of a lag, so I'll give everybody a chance to do that before I give it away. Sorry for going over. All right. Yarn brings her joy. Yay. Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right. I'm going to draw. Yay, Jal. All right. I know where to find you, Jal, so I'll pop these into the mail to you this week. So thank you guys so much for being here. I had fun sharing Rowan 71 with you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, keep knitting and create something beautiful. Have a lovely evening.